Good morning. Welcome to the class. Today is our casual Friday. We will be covering display and mobile ads today with me, and I want to show you several. And I wanna share a couple of useful strategies which you should know when you start considering your first of all display and mobile ad campaigns. This class will be mainly focused on sharing the Google Ads perspective on display and mobile ads. When you go to Google Ads account and when you create the new campaign, there are several goal guidance objectives which Google is suggesting you, and one of them is towards sales. Then there's the one regarding leads, website traffic, product and consideration, brand awareness and reach. If you have apps, you can run app promotion or universal app campaigns, and you can also have local store visit and promotions. And of course, the option which usually is preferred by the hardcore old school Google Ads users. That's the create campaign without the goal guidance, right? Because if you know what exactly you want, why would you want the goal guidance? Um, Regarding the goal guidance, this is the AIDA model, which you've seen, I think, in at least two or three classes that we had previously. And in this model, the awareness, interest, desire, action model really explains how Google also approaches, these goal objectives which you have. So the brand awareness and reach goal objective is usually used, of course, to the upper funnel, to very upper funnel, and to build awareness on your brand. So when you're running the brand awareness and reach campaigns, if you choose, let's say, YouTube video ads, the default bidding method is target CPM, which means that Google is sort of encouraging you to also evaluate properly the KPIs, for the awareness stages. So, in other words, let's say if you're saying that you want awareness campaigns, then you should focus on, having as much reach as possible for the relevant amount. If you're saying that you want the website traffic, or maybe products and brand, if you want willing the product and brand consideration goal objective, and if you're, let's say, running the interest phase, then maybe the customers already are in the middle stage, and maybe you can approach them saying that you want to have the CPV bidding method, and already pay for video views when somebody watches your YouTube actually ad, and pay for that. If you're already conversion driven, right, and your customer went through all these three stages, maybe at that point you want your clients to understand that there are that there's a possibility to make a conversion. So in that case, the conversion maximize conversion method, or bidding method is suggested and sort of encouraged by Google. So you can go through all these various stages of campaign goals, and have completely different bidding methods and outcomes of campaigns, just for running the same platform. So just like I was saying, if you're running, let's say, YouTube campaign, and you're willing to run the brand awareness goal objective, bid strategy is target CPM. So you can't even pay for video views. You will have completely different outcomes. You have more reach, and probably not that many views. I mean, yes, of course, there will be views, but the views will not be something that YouTube will be focusing on when running brand awareness campaigns. On the contrary, if you are willing to have conversions, and your goal is to have website traffic, then you can select the best strategy to maximize conversions. And this will encourage YouTube to show the ads to the people that are more likely to make actual conversion. And we have success cases with YouTube ads implemented to have actual conversions. So YouTube works really well as a conversion driver. And of course that depends on the channel and, let's say, the cost per conversion. But if your cost per conversion is reasonable, then I don't see why you cannot use YouTube as a sales channel as well, if that is the proper strategy implemented. Then there's another goal guidance which you can also use in your case, and that goal guidance, let's say, is the product and brand consideration, which I already explained slightly previously. So in the middle phase, maybe you're not that focused on the cost per conversion or just maximizing conversions, but let's say you're a little bit more focused on the engagement than in the first phase, like awareness build-up phase. So here the maximum CPV can be something that you care about. Let's say you want to have the cost per view for as low as, let's say, 1 or 2 cents or some other price which is the right price for you. Of course, it also depends on the market. So let's say in Lithuania it's pretty easy to have the cost CPV for 1-2 cents. In United States, that's very, again, it's still possible to have that cost, but you will just have a really low reach. So if you want to have a lot of views, you have to increase the cost per view, and it can cost 5, 10, sometimes even more cents, just cost per view, because there are many advertisers and all of them are bidding on the relevant audience. So we see that with the different goal guidance and even the same platform, you can have completely different objectives selected and implemented completely different bidding models. So target CPM, maximize conversions, maximum CPV. All this is possible only because with display campaigns we have a possibility to control what we want to achieve. So how to create conversions and pay for conversions. I know that we had a class in Google Analytics where we covered the event-based approach, and when I was showing you how to create Google Analytics events within Tag Manager. So this is something that's going to be close to that part, and that's that lecture. I just want you to sort of focus on and let's say kick back and relax. Here, if everything is super familiar, if that looks still a little bit new, then go back to the Google Ads and Google Tag Manager account and try repeating the same activities that I will show you here with your teammates. So how to create and and pay for the conversions. First of all, in order to be able to pay for conversions on Google Ads, and this is one crucial thing. So the reason why I'm really showing you this step is because Google Ads allows you to pay for conversions. It allows you, there's a functionality simply which is called target CPA, and the targets or cost per action or cost per acquisition, and that functionality is implemented in both search and display campaigns. In search campaigns, it's sort of just a bidding strategy, and you're still paying for clicks. It's just optimizing you to have the outcome, the cost per action, which might be close but not always mega close. With banners, Google has actually the power of charging you when the conversion occurs. So I will show you how to do that, but first of all, let's take a look at how we can how do we start? So how do we create the first conversions, and what exactly are the steps for that? So first of all, go to your Google Ads account, hit the Tools and Settings tab, and then click the button Conversions. So when you click that, Google is asking you, so what do you want to choose? What kind of conversions you want to choose? You can import conversions from Google Analytics. So if you have Google Analytics goals set up, you can proudly simply implement them, and that will work fine. But what I noticed is that it's good to have Google Analytics goals, but it's even better if you also have Google Ads conversion, just normal conversions, implemented directly via Google Tag Manager or on your site. So to do that, you need to click the website section, and then Google will generate you the certain sections. Google will ask you, so okay, what kind of, first of all, category do you want this conversion to belong to? And this is very important to select it properly, because if, let's say, you choose that you want to have add to cart conversion, and then you're running the lead categories, like lead campaign, Google will not optimize your lead campaign for add to carts. But on the other hand, if you are having a lead campaign and you have contact conversion, and then there's the sign up conversion, then and if you want to run the lead campaigns, Google will optimize for that conversion. So choosing and properly naming and defining conversions is also relevant and important in your Google Ads account. So make sure to select the proper conversion category. In my case, I want to choose the add to cart conversion category. So let's mark add to cart, and when we have that, Google is asking me, so what exactly is the value here, this conversion? And the worst case is to mark do not use a value for this conversion action, because this is one of the reasons why, to be honest, in many cases we see Facebook advertisers succeed more than Google advertisers, and the outcome here, I think, comes down to Pixel Helper, Facebook Pixel Helper, and Google Tag Assistant. Like, Facebook Pixel Helper is so many steps ahead of Google Tag Assistant, at least on my perspective, on my point of view. And when you have Facebook Pixel Helper implemented on your site, and so not really implemented on your site, but implemented in your browser, and you go to any website, you can click Facebook Pixel Helper, and with the drop-down menu, you will see if the events are properly set up, if they are collecting the IDs, the categories, the values, everything. With Google Tag Assistant, it's in many cases impossible to know if it's properly or improperly implemented. Yeah, the only thing that Google Tag Assistant shows is if the tag is not implemented properly, but it doesn't show you if the values are properly passed to Google. So this is something that you have to understand, that it's up to you if you manage to push and update relevant information. So I would say that definitely do not use this section, don't use a value for this conversion action. If you have a very stable and always the same conversion value, like, let's say, I know that when somebody is submitting a lead on our site, the value that's most likely is something like 25 euros. I'm just putting this number out of my head, but let's say, right, that the value is always static, and I can just simply mark this section and mark the 25 euro mark, or I can have different values for each conversion. And how do we do that? So with Google Tag Manager, we can pass values dynamically from the site. And here is once again, I think I have a right to say that I think that sometimes Google Ads agencies are slightly lazy to show to push the data properly, to Google Ads from data layer, because simply Google doesn't force them do that by poking that your tag is not properly implemented. And with proper implementation, it can be really really well crafted, and you can say that you can push from data layer the value to Google through Google Tag Manager to Google Ads, this conversion ID, and and then as well you can pass the same value to Google Ads. So how do you do that? You need to set that you want to use Google Tag Manager to implement conversions. That's, I think, clear, and all of you already have success cases with proper implementation of events for Google Tag Manager. That's a good thing. Let's keep on checking what's next. So when you check that you want to implement conversion through Google Tag Manager, Google Ads sets the conversion ID and conversion label. So here you have to make sure that this conversion ID and conversion label is properly added through Google Tag Manager to your site. And Google is also pushing you to make sure that you add a conversion linker tag and configure it to fire on all of your web pages. So what exactly is this conversion linker? So when somebody comes to your site, and the conversion linker works in a couple of matters. So one of them is when somebody comes to your site and they are going between some pages, either UTM or some other elements might drop at some point, and it might be that if the conversion linker is not implemented, that Google just doesn't know that conversion actually happened if somebody passed through several pages on your site. So with the conversion linker, if it's fired on every page, then it doesn't matter to which web page the visitor came, as long as the user is on the same website, they will Google Ads will register the conversion. So another option is to use the conversion linker for the cross-domain tracking. And here, if you have let's say multiple domains, and you have somebody who is visiting those multiple domains, you can also have the conversion linker to identify the user and to track the conversion, even if the user went through the multiple domains, if the Google Tag Manager code is the same on all of them and the conversion linker is also implemented. So in other words, this is something that in previous Google Tag Manager installations was called cross-domain tracking. So you have to do that if you want to do that. You need the conversion linker properly implemented on your site. Do that, and then make sure to also add the Google Ads conversion tracking ID and label. So where do you find it? Right here, like Google Ads Remarketing, and here is the Google Ads conversion tracking. Make sure to mark the proper tag, select the proper tag, because if you will choose the wrong one, something simply will not work. So choose the Google Ads conversion tracking tag, type in the conversion ID in the label, and when you do that, also select where the events or the conversion is fired, so or when it's triggered. So here I have selected then when the link, and you can note that this is like the link identification icon. When the link is with a certain URL and certain label, uh, I am saying that, look, this is the add to cart event which is fired, and on my site, this is the option, like, you go to conversion ID, which is, and this is something that you already can see for Google Tag Assistant. So when the Google Tag Assistant is already implemented on your site, you can, click on the button which you wanted to track, and you will see that, or read the link, and you will see that the conversion ID and label is already properly set. And what is exactly the point of having these conversions on your site? So first of all is to understand what you're tracking and to understand what to measure, because if you're not having conversions on your site, then exactly, like, what exactly is your objective? Like, to spend money. If that exactly is your objective, you may not use conversions at all. If that is your objective, just to spend money. From my experience, like, when we consult businesses have objectives to make money. So if your objective is to make money, then conversion tracking is essential. Second thing is, when you have conversions, multiple conversions on your site, you can optimize certain campaigns to run just for the chosen conversions. Like, by default, Google is sort of optimizing the campaigns for all account level conversions, but you can say that, look, I want to optimize, let's say, my maybe awareness campaign, for maybe for page views of certain product, or maybe somebody viewing the multiple products on my site. Then maybe I want to optimize and this can actually be done in a very simple manner. So imagine that you have let's say Google Analytics conversion, which is saying that viewed 5 products, or viewed 7 products, so it's viewed 7 pages, and this as a goal can be implemented, to be a conversion for your Google Ads account. And usually it would be really a waste of money, to have, a goal of visited or viewed 5 or 7 pages. But if you're anyway running awareness campaign, it's better to optimize it for something beneficial than just impressions and clicks. So viewed 7 pages is already better than just a click. In that case, you can have this soft conversion and optimize your awareness campaigns, for that. Then I would say that, consideration stage, I would run the campaigns with the objective added product, to shopping cart, and or add to cart button clicks, and already when somebody is making a purchase, so if running sale conversion objective and goal, then you set the actual purchase as a conversion. So you can choose conversion actions for this campaign. And when you select that you want to choose certain conversion actions, this is here exactly where you see all these conversions which are imported into your Google Ads account. So here, there's the button add to cart, which we created together. Then there's the contact button or conversion. And here I think is somebody viewed our career page, and somebody is willing maybe to join APG Media, and this is sort of also, like, this is where you choose these conversions that you want your campaign to be optimized for. So what happens next when you choose a certain conversion that you want your campaign to be optimized for? So once you select that, this is exactly where Google Display Network shines. and it shines like so majorly in comparison to many other solutions that I just am blown away that in many cases, many businesses, even after me telling more than for 2 years now, the stories of successful, paying for conversion campaigns, they still hear it for the first time. Like, how come? But nevertheless, this is something that you can and should do. So if Google Ads allow you, to pay for conversions, try doing that. So with display campaigns, set target CPA bidding method, and then just choose the drop down and pay not for clicks but for conversions, and set how much you're willing to pay. So what does it mean? It means that whenever the conversion will happen, this is, you will be charged that amount of money. um, what exactly are the necessities, for these, for you paying for the conversions and not for clicks? So necessity number one is that you need to have at least 100 conversions in the last 30 days. At least 100 conversions. This is important, because if you don't have these conversions in the last 30 days, simply you will not be able to have the paying for conversions option. It will be grayed out, not black, and you will not be able to select it. And then you need about 90% of all conversions to happen in last 7 days from the click. So when somebody clicks, in about 7 days, they need to convert. If all these criteria, are okay, then Google allows you to pay for conversions with Google. And this is where the Google Display Network really performs really great. There are a couple of things which you should know, like when you are having the display on mobile ads, you can use various audiences, and these audiences can be whatever you want. So I'm just like providing some cases of a couple of our clients, what exactly they had as audiences. And Google is allowing you to create either or to use either in-market audiences, or affinity audiences, or custom intent, custom audiences, or even combined audience, or your own website visitors as audiences. What many people don't really know is that you can always combine these audiences together. So you can use, let's say, these audiences together, and you can say, I want the same user to be a member of multiple audiences, and Google will narrow down then the targeting, and you will run your campaigns for the narrow audience. So if you have a product, let's say for Christmas or Black Friday, something that you're willing to sell, this is the example of a couple of audiences which we selected, as I said, for a couple of our clients, for one of our clients. And they were curious, and people who are into online Christmas shopping, also in store Christmas shopping and Black Friday deals and personalized gifts. So what we did, we created multiple campaigns. So one campaign is focused on the in-market audiences, and it's sort of mid-funnel, like not really upper funnel, but it's more already on people, focused on people that already are considering your product. So, or considering a product in your category, like that you think that they might be willing to buy. So they already are in the market for personalized gifts or makeup or perfume or whatever, like here that is that your audience is interested in. And here, if the audience fits into that category, they will see the Google Display Network ads. It's not running your ads on certain page. Like I'm in many cases I see my clients asking me, or our project managers, like, will Google show the ad on page this and that and that? Yes and no. Like, to be honest, it doesn't matter, because I am more interested in the audience and not on placement. Like, yes, placements do matter, but in many cases, I see that if you have, I mean, unless you have no business goals whatsoever, which you can measure, digitally, like a sale on an add to cart or something like that, it's better to measure things than to just run ads on certain placements that you believe that your visitor visits, because this belief might be might be falsely. So make sure, of course, to experiment and test hypotheses, but also, trust numbers, not just guts. So beliefs are good, but they should be tested. So what we do in many cases, we set the campaigns into various stages. So here, let's say this is the, as I said, middle funnel campaign. And in this campaign, we have multiple audiences. And these audiences are put together, and we will check which audiences will perform better. And we'll simply, have we'll have rules which will pause the audiences if they are outperformed by the other audiences. And that's it. That's a very simple rule which will be used and implemented in that campaign. So you can have and find these in market audiences with the help of Google Ads audiences tab. Then you can have the upper funnel campaigns with the affinity audiences. And here, like, I want somebody who's the luxury shopper or value shopper, and maybe frequently visits salons or beauty and wellness things. And this is like, here I don't focus that much on trying to put the ad or the message to the customer who is considering already my product. But here is the sort of presumption that maybe the customer is interested in my product. So what kind of objective could be here for that kind of upper funnel campaign? For that kind of upper funnel campaign, as I said, I would run, probably I would want eventually to measure the cost per conversion, of course. But if the cost per conversion is, let's say, too high, I would focus on either adds to carts, or I would say, okay, let's make the conversion, the engagement, like, visited 7 pages, or something like that. So something really, micro and really easily achievable. So these affinity audiences can be and should be used and implemented, in your daily campaigns for the upper funnel stages, right? Then if you have, as I said, if you have already these audiences, you can merge them together. So here I'm using the or rule. So I say that if the customer is a shopper or a value shopper or a luxury shopper or Black Friday or any of these audiences, let them see the ads, and I will just call this audience shoppers. That's it. So this for me is an easy way to have this or rule. I will combine these Google audiences into one audience, and if the customer will belong to any of these audiences, they will see the ad. And here usually there's one more thing, which just like with Apple, one more thing. So there's one more thing, and that one more thing is that you can use not just or operator, but you can also use and operator. And with this and operator, you can say, look, I want the customer to be any of these audiences, and I want them to be, let's say, member of my remarketing audience. Wow, this is really heavy and this is really, really good. Like, I can make the customer, be in the same basket. Like, and I can say, I don't want to have just remarketing audience. I want remarketing audience fine-tuned with Google shoppers, like, people that Google knows that they are also Black Friday shoppers or value shoppers or shoppers online. So I merge these audiences, I narrow them down, and then my audiences are even better. So this is really crazy and really good. Like, you have to note that you can have combined audiences, and these audiences are called combined audiences, something that many advertisers have no idea that this thing even exists. What else? So when you select Google Display Network, you are allowed to exclude certain things. Like, by default, Google doesn't really select all these things, but it depends, of course, on your brand positioning. But we recommend many of our clients, if your positioning is if for you is really important, not just the price or cost per conversion, but also, let's say, where the context where your ads are shown, then make sure that the ad doesn't appear where tragedy and conflict, let's say, is happening. So if somebody is writing an article about war, then your ad simply will not be shown there. So this is a good thing, right? And the good thing is that the ad will not be shown there. Sensitive social issues, profanity, rough language, sensational, shocking, something that's really something that you don't want, maybe your ads, to be next to. So you can use the content exclusion. And with display ads, this is something that you should consider, because if not, then of course your cost per click and cost per thousand impressions will be very low. But it might be that you will find yourself within some really weird cases. So then, finding the right audiences. Google is constantly updating the list of in-market audiences, and you just need to make sure that you find them. So how do you find them? By default, when you open up the certain campaign and go to the audience tab, so Google is asking you, so do you want to run the ads using the targeting or the observation methods? So if you're running the search ad campaign, here we're not really considering search campaigns. But if you're new to Google search, and for you it's interesting to know how Google search works, usually when you're running Google ads campaigns, Google search campaigns, and you're using keywords to target your potential customers, many customers just use just that, and they completely ignore the fact that Google also allows you to have observation audiences and understand to which audiences also your customers belong. So if you're running Google search campaigns, it makes sense to mark all these possible sections together, and put them to the observation audiences, and just check, like, if the customer belongs or doesn't belong to the selected audiences. If you're running Google Display Network campaigns, then make sure to select targeting, not observation, because if you will choose observation, then Google will just randomly show wherever your ads, and it will report to which audiences your customers belong. Not really very much targeting, right? So I would say that if you're running Google Display Network campaigns, make sure to hit targeting, and select these audiences that you want your ads to show for. So like here, I'm saying, look, Valentine's Day is coming, maybe in I don't know, 3 4 months. So if you're interested to run your ads for Valentine's Day, you can mark these categories and run your ads for people that care about to belong to these relevant audiences. Also, Google is constantly updating the list of in-market audiences. So what I mean is that sometimes new audiences show up, and you can find them, and something that wasn't there, 2 months ago, there might be a new audience, today. So don't think that if you went to Google display network and audience section, and if there's a limited audience, that this is the only thing that you can have. No, just type in into search, certain queries, and you might find completely uh, mind-blowing new audiences that will fit, your search. So make sure to do those queries within the search section of Google Audiences. So if you don't know if Google has the right audience, you can search for that audience in any language. Like here, I use Lithuanian language, word for cars, and if when I use that word, Google just suggested me multiple audiences, multiple in market audiences, which are about cars. So if you are in Germany and you type in a German word, Google will suggest these for you also audiences. So Google understands. Doesn't matter which language you use. um, that's good, right? So you can select them the relevant audiences and simply run your campaign. What next? Next is the thing that you can also go to Google Tools section and shared library and audience manager section, and you can create new audiences through audience manager. So like in the previous examples here, I showed you that you can go to Google Audiences tab within the campaign already, and you can target relevant audiences through the campaign directly. But what if you want to create a new audience completely, like from some certain keywords? So you can do that as well. Like you can just go to Tools and Settings, and you can, as I said, you can go to Shared Library and Audience Manager, and here Google allows you to either go to Remarketing section like this one, or you can go to Custom Audience section, and within the Custom Audiences section, you can create the custom affinity audiences or custom intent audiences. So what exactly are these? So like custom intent audiences, they represent people that are actively, let's say, searching for your services or services based on the keywords that you type in into your audience. So if they are Googling these words, they will fall into your audience. Or if they frequently visit certain sites, or the category of the sites belong to, they can also you can also run show your ads to these people. So how does this work? Like here, once again, perfume, the various perfume for women, um, premium things, etc. Just if people are with any of these interests, or purchase intentions, they will see your ads. That's it. So if people have an interest, certain interest, they will start seeing your display ads based on search queries. So this is really amazing. Like you can tailor yourself this custom intent audience. And in our experience, these custom intent audiences, they really work very well, like um, magically well. And if you merge that custom intent audience together with the remarketing audience or together with the lookalike audience, then you can have an even better audience, because simply magic happens. And this is the power of, those combined audiences that I was telling you about. So make sure not to forget also the combined audiences. What again? What else? So if somebody is, visiting, certain URLs, like I have a list of URLs that we're trying to build our audience based on, and that's it. And so if the people, visit these websites, they will fall into our audience, and that's one more beauty. Next to custom intent audiences, there's, as I said, the custom affinity audience, which allows you create even, let's say, even more interesting, probably, solutions. And one of these solutions is a way to create audience based on visited locations. So if somebody has visited a certain physical place, you can start showing them ads. How does this work? So when you select this, like, place section, you can then type in what kind of location you wanted them to visit. And like, these locations usually are drawn from Google Maps and Google My Business categories. So if you can imagine or can find a category that business has identified itself, like here, gas station, or shopping mall. So you can say, if you want to promote your services to people that have visited gas stations, you can do that. And this is through the custom affinity audiences. And of course, the only thing which you should know is that this audience can be used only for YouTube advertising. So you cannot simply run certain campaigns on Just Display Network, but you can run your YouTube ads for these people. As I mentioned, you can create these audiences based on the let's say, locations that people visited. So how do we incorporate all these display, mobile advertising, and all these strategies into the customer flow and customer journey? So let's go from very beginning, and go into the approach the customer consumer journey in digital channels. So this is a very good example of that Google provides, sharing with us car buying experience, and saying that the car buyer has over 900 digital interactions before the purchase. Over 900 digital interactions. What does it mean? Like, let's say, let's give me an example. Let's consider me as an example. Like, currently I'm considering a car, making a purchase. So I consider that car purchase, oh my god, I think like more than last 4 or 5 months, I'm making this choice. I'm watching a lot of YouTube videos, like reviews, like this car, that car, this brand, that brand. I don't want to promote any brands, so I will not mention them. But the point is that like, my approach on what kind of car I want shifted very much from me considering, let's say, one kind of type of car, to other than like, I've seen test drives of some brands, then I've seen the next year models for other brands. And let's say, currently maybe I have made up my mind, but for sure I had way more than 900 digital interactions before the purchase. And exactly, these all these stages that person, was looking here, also applied to me, maybe except for Google searches. Like, I really did not do 139 Google searches. I was not looking really for answers in five, stages, like which car is best, or is that car for me? Can I afford it? Where should I buy it? Can I get a good offer? No, I was mainly watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I also was influenced a lot, like by display ads. And like, maybe that's just my laziness. I'm a little bit too lazy to read the like review on a car when I know that I can have the same content simply, on YouTube with my, earbuds. Why would I, do that if I can consume the content in a way that I like? So I prefer, that kind of, feeling which I get also, with the sound when somebody is driving a car, if that's noisy or not. Like, it's many elements, which I consider, and all of them are really various and very different. But I was really, thinking which is the best car, uh, but slightly in a different matter. I don't really care, like, the best car. I care about, the, let's say, best car according to my uh, perception of how I want, to, like, if there's something that, the car, says about me. So there are some brands which, like, they that don't tell anything about you, and that's probably good. There are some brands, like, let's say, in many cases BMW is considered to be a brand, which is, let's say, there are many car accidents happening in Lithuania, caused by BMW drivers. So, I mean, I don't want to be associated with that kind of audience. So for me, let's say, that brand is out of consideration, and the reason is very simple. Like, I don't want to be considered, reckless driver, and that's it. So this is, like, this is one of the elimination elements, like, for me. Is this, but this is already, like, stage two. Is this the right car for me? Then, of course, can I afford it? Yeah, there are, let's say, a couple of cars that I, looked, and they're really awesome ones, like with the, screen projectors, like, the projectors, the speedometers, and maps elements, on the screen, on the window, on windshield, sorry. Yeah, but they are pricey, and I wish I could afford that car, but I know that if the car costs as much as my house, well, that's not really a smart, choice, for me to make. So I just, I just eliminate that kind of purchase, because preferably I would upgrade my house first, and then I would upgrade my car. Then, where should I buy it? That's probably the question. That's in Lithuania, you don't really care a lot, because you can't really buy the same new car in many different places. Um, if there's a dealership, then usually that dealer is in that city. So I will not probably go to Klaipeda simply because they have, I don't know, great car. I will probably just order that, color or specs in Vilnius, and maybe wait a week to get it. So the location doesn't really matter, like, not the key element for me. And then, can I get a good offer? That's also, like, a very good question. Like, for example, I've seen, all those promotions saying, look, this is, like, this car has 5,000 or 7,000 euros off, and all that. But then, like, I do some research, and I see that, to be honest, this is not the highest spec, and I just don't want that kind of spec and then I ask, so okay, what if I wanted the, I don't know, let's say um, Parktronic in my car, like that element, that feature. So the dealership says, sorry, this feature is not implemented in that car, and in order to get that, you need to wait 3 months because the new cars will arrive only in 3 months. So can you get a good offer? Yes, you can save some money, but if that's the only objective, then yeah, probably that's but then you have to do sacrifices. So if you don't want to go into sacrifices, then a good offer probably is uh, sometimes it's impossible, to get all the wins. But yeah, maybe it's a way. But anyway, the consumer journey, the car bar really does a lot of digital interactions before the purchase. So this is interesting, right? And here we have the same Stacy, and she did those 139 Google searches, 14 YouTube videos, 89 images, 69 dealer interactions, and 186 manufacturer interactions. So what does it mean? So she made a lot of searches, watched some videos. Like for me, that would be probably of the opposite. Like I maybe did 14 Google searches and 139 YouTube video watched. But that's just my story. Then images, yeah, of course, the banner ads. Then I was looking, so okay, where exactly is this brand dealership, other brand dealership. So yeah, Google Maps were really relevant for me. There was a point when I was in one location in Vilnius, and I was just looking, so okay, so which dealership which is selling the same car is closer, and I just went to that location instead of the other, even though they did the same dealership sell the same kind of brand. And manufacturing interactions, oh yes, that's probably one of the most often done things. You go to the manufacturer side, you look, do research, is that the new car, is that the updated version, the upgraded version. If the upgraded version is going to be released in 2 months, you don't want to buy probably the one now, because you want to wait, because this is something that you really spend money upfront. And I would never call buying a car an investment, but if I waste money, at least I want to waste it with some sense, not without it. So this is something that's important. And then there's of course the customer journey, again, in various channels. So how it happened, like is it the right time for me moments. So this is one of her mobile search paths. Like she went to review sites, then she went to Google and searched minivans with side cameras and cars with side cameras. Then she went to brand manufacturer site. Then after that, she Googled minivans with side cameras and brand B, as an option. Then she went to brand B's website. After that, she already looked Google search for 2015 brand B minimum minivan Model 1 versus Model 2 options. Like, is that in, I know that this is 2020, this is Google probably should update their slides regarding the car customer journey, but still I hope that Stacy wasn't looking in 2020 for the 2015 minivan models. But anyhow, it's an interaction path point. So then she went to reviewer sites, then to dealer sites, then Googled more things, and then she went once again to dealer site. So she really cares how many seats are in brand B model. Like this is not written here, but for example, when I was doing search, I was looking for, so how many liters are in this in the in the back of the car where you put all the luggage and stuff, because in the end it also matters, like, if how much stuff you will be able, to push and squeeze into the car. After this, the rest is history. So its consumer journey is long, and it's like, one story was, of course, like, with this Stacy and her customer journey. Then we have Liam's "I want to get away" moments, like, where it's already not the car purchasing thing, but the person is looking for ideas, like, where to go, where to get. And here we see once again that Google Images, like, including street views, maps, and other image views, or like in most of the cases, banner views, were displayed. So, like, you cannot ignore display ad relevance, especially understanding that you are able to pay for conversions on Google Display Network. And it doesn't matter if you advertise on, or if you want to advertise on mobile or desktop, like, who cares, where the customer is, you are there, and you make the conversion happen. So that's my approach. So a couple more interesting things that I found a couple of years ago on Think of Google site. So Think of Google is a section is a web page where Google is just having a lot of valuable content for you. So there's this customer journey for multiple categories. So beauty products is one of them. Then there's the financial products, and a couple more. I will show them here, and I will share them with you. And the point is that the thing is that we in many cases we don't understand that uh, based on your financial input, you can have more channels, and you can have more capabilities which help you expand your business. It's not just like scaling through running campaigns and spending more and more and more on the same campaign. No, it's like just having a different mindset. It's adding additional slots to your campaign. So, like, if there's a beauty product, and that's a thing, like, in most of the cases, if something is happening on the web, usually the conversion happens on direct customer visit to site. Like, final conversion happens most of the cases, like, okay, not all the cases, but in many cases happens when the user is already made up in mind and goes, like, to your brand name, like brand site, like apgmedia.lt, right? This is where somebody who's our potential client, like, is coming and going. So when they already know that they will want to get your service, they go directly to your site and do that. So this is like the final last interaction. But there are many interactions before that, and small businesses, especially like for the beauty products, they trust on referrals in the beginning. So like they try to post like something like sponsored ads on various referral pages, and from these referrals people will come first of all to their site. After that, they will do some generic paid searches, like, let's say, beauty products in Lithuania, beauty products in Germany, beauty products, top rated beauty products of 2020, top rated beauty products of 2022, and etc. So like generic paid search things. When these people visit your site and retargeting kicks in, this is probably where people also might see your ad. But if you're a very small business and if you don't have retargeting, probably you're relying mainly on Google search because it's just more efficient. Then you're willing to invest maybe in organic search and or like SEO. And on top of that, finally somebody makes your brand search, visit your site again, then they wait for a while, and eventually they go to your site again and make this reservation or a purchase or something like that. If that is a medium-sized business, not a small size business, maybe you already have like a social media account, right? So they came first of all from your social media account, then they still do some organic search results, so you have to make sure that you are visible and found on through SEO on Google search. Then they will come to your site, and for medium-sized businesses, they usually already have email marketing implemented. So people will come again to your site through email marketing campaigns, because they left the site, email marketing campaign kicked in, it started working. Then they did a generic paid search. Eventually, they did brand paid search, and then of course the display remarketing is the thing that works. It's here, and after showing your brand multiple times to the customer, user once again goes to direct your site and makes last interaction after, and then after that they did the purchase. So this is how the beauty products sort of kind of works. I'm not saying that this is 100% of the case, but this is the general trend, how this sort of works. Then if we take a look at the financial services, we will see that for small businesses, generic paid search like loans online, things like that, is the first usual interaction, how they spot the potential clients. Then for them it's also important to be visible and found through SEO. Then referrals, and this is more like maybe affiliate links, and then people come to your site. And then what is also important is that the final conversion usually happens not when somebody goes directly to your site. It also happens then, but in many cases it happens when somebody is looking for your brand on Google search, okay, now I need a loan. They go to Google, they type in your brand name, and here what's important is to have this defensive campaign, to make sure that your brand is protected, that if competition is buying your keyword, the customer is not taken away, or that's an opportunity for you to bring in the new customer if you're buying the competition's keyword yourself. But make sure to have this defensive campaign and secure the clients. For medium-sized companies or businesses, generic paid search, the same. Then the organic search and SEO. Social media or display ads might be here. They might be also here. Email marketing and brand paid search. And then of course, as you are the medium-sized or bigger companies, for them there's more brand awareness and efficiency. Not efficiency, but there's just more brand awareness build up, and the customers already know exactly what they are looking for. But display ads, they also play a crucial role here. So all these strategies that I showed you today, how to use the custom intent audiences, how to use custom affinity audiences, how to to run conversion based campaigns, and how to optimize for conversions. This is something crucial, and honestly, in many cases people just do not really evaluate all the possibilities and opportunities that this platform provides you. Household equipment, yet another solution. And here we have once again the customer journey, which is slightly different from all the previous ones. Here, for example, email marketing and brand paid search for small business is skewed towards final slot, and generic paid search is still with organic search very much as an assistant interaction, right? For medium-sized businesses, social media might work, more as the last, closer to the last interactions, but display is usually, implemented in very early stages. So whenever somebody comes to your site, display is implemented. What I want you to understand is that there's no one true like formula. You can say that you can use one customer pathway, you can use other customer pathway or journey, but it either works or not. So you have to experiment, and you have to make the right adjustments on the right time. And if you are working hard, and if you are implementing these adjustments on the right time, then the results are there, and you will have your conversions and your results. Otherwise, you will just need to update and for sort of do some changes. So at this point, probably these are all the things that I wanted to share with you today. I want you to know that I want you to do also some homework activities. Make sure to create. Make sure to go to your Google Ads account and go to the shared library section. And let me just get back to that part here. The go to the audience manager and go to the custom audience section and create three things. Thing number one is make sure to create the one custom intent audience with the relevant keywords. Second thing, make sure to create the custom affinity audience. That's up to you, what kind of elements you want to create. And the third thing, I want you to create the combined audience. So in order to create the combined audience, you have to go into this section, which is here. Let me find it. So in order to get it, okay. So in order to have this combined audience, you have to go to the to any campaign within Google Ads. You have to go to the browse section. So it's not really marked here, but you have to go to browse section, and on the very bottom there will be the combined audiences. Click it and then select the audiences that you want to combine. And so as I said, three things that you need to do for this homework. That's one of them is create one audience custom intent with the custom intent parameters. Second, create one custom affinity audience. And third thing is create the combined audience. And do the screenshots and put everything into one presentation. Share your experience, 400 words, why you chose certain keywords for the custom intent, what you chose for custom affinity, and why, and why you chose certain elements for the combined audience. So one teammate per team. Please submit your homework assignment, and that's it for today. Have a great day.